I see a kitty cat. That's fine. I know there's some mice in there. I've seen a couple. So here's our morning. 36 degrees, wet, zero wind. There hasn't been any wind since last night. Amazing. And I stuck around in the house watching the news this morning, doing that, and checking the weather app. And the only thing they have in common is it's going to be cold. Lowest thing the news is saying is 16 degrees, and that's, I think, tomorrow. Yet my weather app still says 4 and 5 degrees like Monday and Tuesday. So, but at any rate, oh yeah, and then the school closures and early releases today. I mean, can't blame them, because a few years ago, I mean, the whole world around here really got shut down. Friend of ours was, I don't know, he used to own a bunch of dump trucks. Now he's got a little everything. He was kind of stupid because they changed what the weather was doing. And they said, hey, it's going to get really nasty. So a lot of the contractors all said, no, we're closing early. There you go, Wally. And most everybody shut everything up 2:30 or 3 o'clock, figuring that give people a chance to get home. Well, what's one idiot do? And yes, he was an idiot for doing it. He chose, instead of taking his last load that was on this side of Portland, it's kind of a pain pulling a 5-gallon bucket one-handed. And instead of taking to a dirt dump on his way home, he took it to a dirt dump in Portland. He had an opportunity to grab another load in Portland for something. Got a flat tire, ended up out, I think he was at Jubit's. They were kind of slow. He ended up parked along I-5 in Portland for like 8 hours. And the whole thing was a parking lot because they couldn't even get the plows and sanders anywhere near. Why? Because everybody tried to leave town at the same time. They all hit the hill coming out of Portland and nobody could move. And then he's trying to get somebody, oh, come get me. How's their car going to get to you? Your dump truck's sitting in the middle of the highway, and you're packed in with everybody else. So, anyway, that's my rant for this morning, and that's probably what's going to happen today. Some people are going to be stupid. But the stupid thing is there's a couple of schools. Most of them are doing a 2-hour early release. One's doing a 3-hour early release. Kids get to school, they don't start till 9. They're going to leave at 11:30. And they probably don't start till 9:30, who knows. Anyway, these guys are hungry. And this one does take 2 hands. Well, been watching the news, all that good stuff. They can't make up their mind what's going to happen. Only thing we know so far is every school is letting the kids out early. Maury doesn't have any trucks on the road, so I imagine all the rock pits are closed. And I'm going to see how this does, pushing the slop in a lot. I'm just going to push it over in the corner, because I can't get it anywhere else at the moment. I'm definitely not going to try to back scrape any. That's not a good idea. Not after yesterday. Both latches popped. The handles stayed down, so still pressure on the pins, but the pins let loose. Yeah, people wonder why I've never really been fond of that type of setup, but it's quick, it's easy, I don't know. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I can get everything hosed off before it gets too freaking cold, I hope. And get the hose drained in case I need it. And app on my phone just popped up with the latest warning and said freezing rain here at 1 p.m. So I get my butt in gear because it doesn't look like I'll be doing much after lunch. Well, it looks like shit because, well, it is half shit, right? Easier to not catch the ground with the bucket back scraping than it is with the blade, because I can't back scrape with the blade or it'll fall off, right? Most of that pile is out of that hole out there, and it's nowhere near as clean as I usually get it. I also didn't spend near as much time on it, but I spent a lot of time picking that blade up to get over obstacles. There's so many of the concrete chunks and stuff that are sticking up that, you know, kids kept hitting them. Don't want to roll them out. But I just cleaned up. I'm going to get her unhooked. I'm going to put the bucket on because, you know, if we freeze and I can do it, I'm going to scoop that shit out of there. And, I mean, if it snows, I know what I can do with the bucket. This thing, we still got to tighten those springs up or do something different. I mean, obviously I can see where the springs are a good thing to have, because I didn't, otherwise I'd have been just digging into the ground in there. And when I got off the machine, get in here without getting full of crap, this one's loose and it was leaking. I think it had just done it, so that's also the one that gets tight really quick. I still need to put a couple extensions on there, figure out how they're not going to hit something that they shouldn't. But that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I'm going to go unhook it, put the bucket on. I cleaned the spot out on this side of the shop, so this thing will back in there so the furnace is blowing right on the oil tank. Hopefully that helps, and it'll keep it warm, keep the engine warm enough. Less power goes out, then it doesn't matter. Little Hobo Freight special. She's doing it. As cold as it's going to be. If we have issues, goof up there or there, and I have to get water to those, this is the place to get it from, and that hose is the hose. You can hear it having fun. I should pull it out more, then it'll finish draining as I roll it up. I was a bad boy a little bit ago. Kitty cat was still on that bale when Becky was back here. Just took a picture of it, sent it to Ty and Brooke and me. And she was still there when I brought that back. But as soon as I turned to come in here, she went up. She's up there somewhere. She's got it made. She's got some of the best insulation there is. And yeah, they'll get over it. But it's lunchtime, and it's been dribbling. We made it all the way up to 38 degrees, and here in about an hour and a half or 2 hours is when they say the freezing rain is supposed to hit us. So, we'll see what happens. Becky didn't want me to finish lunch. She wanted me to get out here and show you what it looks like when it starts. It's all little tiny snowflakes. It's starting to build up on top of my head already. But it's too warm out here yet. But it is cooling off quickly. We went from 38 degrees down to 35 degrees in the last 20 minutes or so. And went from rain to this. So, maybe next time there'll be something on here when I turn the camera on. Well, that's how bad it looks from in here. Tire tracks, because, can't get it all the way down. Checking butts just because we're that close to starting. I mean, some of these old girls, she could pop any time, but she might be 2 months off, too. I've seen them go from looking like they was 6 months along to having a calf on the ground the next day. Because the old gals, they just do that. They don't got to loosen up first. She's looking a little Poochie, but that's one I think Ty's been talking about. She ain't due for another month. And yeah, there's a chunk of concrete. That's one reason I can't clean this very well. There's about 3 of them sticking up between her and that other cow. Yeah, win the lottery and just pour concrete over all this and smooth it up, make it nice. You don't want it too smooth though. Put some grooves in it. Come on, girl. Yeah, I'm waiting for you to walk through. Nobody's starting to make much milk to worry about. One heifer over there, she's looking a little bit. Heifers tend to really get loose long before they're due. She ain't near that loose. Loudmouth. So, all the water's unhooked over there. I even unhooked both ends of most of the hoses. Just because. And that's how far down they got it now. So, feed these boys. Walk through the shit, unhook their water. Go from there. Go back in where it's warm. Oh yeah, you notice the snow didn't do anything. I don't even think it might be snowing up on top, but I don't think much stuck up there. We're right at 32 degrees. Been sitting there for the last hour and I've been dragging my feet on feeding and unhooking water. But I can only drag my feet so far, so. Because unfortunately, these guys still got to eat. I still got to shut their water off. And yes, my fingers are froze. Why? Because unlike what the weatherman says, it is not 83% humidity. It is 95% humidity. I don't know why they can't get that one right either. Yeah, I think you saw all this morning, didn't you? Yeah, you don't need to see it now then, right? I may or may not. See if I remember. Since Ty stayed home. Her and Maury's dad, they babysat Blakely all day. Brooke and Matt are home, but Ty told them to go home and while they have power, get their showers took. Then come down and get Blakely. So, and messages been going back and forth on my phone. They're home and just getting to their showers, so. But I sent a few videos of Blakely today. Yeah. Can't let you get by without seeing Blakely on a Friday, right? So hope you're all doing good. Hope you survive the storm, whatever it may be at your location. And hope everybody has a great weekend. It's going to get freaking cold here. Thanks for watching.
What are you doing, Nug?